Hannity and Greta continued to report on the video that night, also reported on her resignation from the Department of Agriculture. The story continues. Then the NAACP said they were appalled by her comments. Then Shirley practically moved into CNN. They were picking out fabrics and dinnerware. I don't know what they've been doing over there. But she then said the administration was worried about her being on my show. She blamed the administration for jumping to conclusions. She said she was taken out of context. The NAACP said it was investigating. Tuesday the 20th at 5 p.m. I talked about it. And I took her side. The NAACP had not reversed itself until 6:37? About a half hour after this program.
About 30 minutes after our show ended.
Gibbs apologized. Vilsack offered her a new job. And now suddenly it's our fault. We're evil, we're racist, we're hate mongers. Mongering hatred against a poor, defenseless former USDA employee for no apparent reason. We have more on this next. Now, what is the lesson we should have learned from Shirley Sherrod? We should have learned that you don't jump to conclusions, that context matters, and that people can make a mistake 25 years ago, and they can change themselves, and they can be better for it. Change themselves. That's the lesson we should be learning. But no. That's not the message now we're getting from the media. The media is now glorifying Shirley Sherrod. Last night, in one of his typically insane, meandering rants, Keith Olbermann came back, I believe, from vacation. It's weird. It's almost like somebody at the White House said, we need Keith Olbermann to deliver this message, and so he came off vacation. I could be wrong on that. He practically sainted this lady. The ladies on The View said she should be Secretary of Agriculture. Well, why stop there? Why don't we just make her President Sherrod? Or how about Queen Sherrod? Are we not making exactly the same mistake now in the opposite direction? Do the ladies on The View know who she is? Oh, well, wait a minute. We don't really have to know who the president is anymore before we elect him. This whole thing is a setup. Just to let you know, Shirley Sherrod will not return our calls. She is out there calling us racists. But she won't do it to our face. She apparently won't appear on one of the only shows who said she deserved to be heard in full context and stood up for her. This program, I took her side of the story before the transcript came out. Something stinks to high heaven here. Politico reported the White House was praised for its decision, its action initially, and then again, the villain has changed. Somehow it's Fox, who didn't even report on this until after the White House forced her to resign. Isn't that kind of like accusing a man of fathering a woman's child despite him not even meeting the woman until after the baby was born? The only ones who watch this show know who I am. I can't help those who write about it or read about it without hearing or watching. Every time somebody says, you watch Glenn Beck, I always hear this. Anybody who says they hate Glenn Beck, you say, why? Can you give me... Well, I heard he said, or I read he said. Did you hear it? No, they never do. The media always seems surprised by me when I take an unconventional stance. The reason why they're surprised is because I don't think they've ever met anybody who just tries to do the right thing and doesn't have an agenda except what is right and what is quintessentially American and constitutional. We do sometimes get it wrong, but we try to tell you the truth and we try to be fair. It was unfair to have a woman tell a story of something that happened 24 years ago and not include her telling of the pivot point. The administration who says, Van Jones, Bill Ayers, what they did in the past is irrelevant. No, it's not. When those two, what they have in their past, they have never denounced. That's not credible. History is relevant. But you have to look at the person. Did they conquer their demons? Did they do this? Be who you are, not who you've allowed yourself to become. Shirley could have, because she had allowed herself to become influenced by race. She didn't. She conquered it. She became who she really is. That is the goal of everyone. I think I said that, but it may have been a really smart person who I don't remember, because it was in my drinking days that I first read that. I forgot a lot about the drinking days. Whew. I don't know much about this woman. What I do know is that digging into a person's past to show how bad they are without showing their pivot point, if they have one, is inexcusable. That's why I've been asking, I'd like some questions answered about Van Jones. Where was his pivot point? You see, every human being makes mistakes, sometimes really bad ones. But knowingly taking things out of context is beneath anyone of decency. If we're going to save ourselves, we need to know the truth. We need to know the whole truth. Look, if there's anybody in this audience that doesn't know that I used to be a dirtbag because I was drinking, paging Dr. Daniels, Dr. Jack Daniels, I changed my life. That's important for you to know. And it's important that you know I did something about it. It's important for you to know about Shirley. But the most important thing to know is to know thyself. And there are too many people who don't even know themselves. We stood up for her. And look how they've spun our involvement. Why? Why? That'll be for you to decide. Back in a minute. You know, there are two things that were on Ronald Reagan's desk always. There's this one, this sign. It can be done. And then this one. There is no limit to what a man can do or where he can go if he doesn't mind who gets the credit. Tomorrow, we're going to do a special show on Founders Friday on that, because we're in 40 days and 40 nights before 828. That's at the Lincoln Memorial. I invite you to come. We're at day 36. We're 36 days away now. And I asked you, reconnect with truth. Truth. Just told you a minute ago, be who you really are, not who you've allowed yourself to become. So here's what I want you to do. Question with boldness, even the very existence of God, as Thomas Jefferson said. Find out, what is it that you really believe? Why do you believe it? Not why you think you believe it. Don't take anything at face value because I told you, a teacher told you, your mom told you, your wife told you, your husband told you. Find out, what is it you believe? Who am I? Not what others have told you. Not what your family has told you you are. Families sometimes have this way of making you... I was the smelly kid in the family. That's what I was. I'm not so smelly. August. Really? New York? There are some exceptions. Who are you? And if you're afraid inside, that's not who you are. If you're hiding something, that's not who you are. Why are you hiding it? What lies do you tell yourself or others? This is what you need to conquer. There's trouble coming, gang. There's hard times coming. What was it Bernanke said? Unusually uncertain times. You think? You have to be a leader. You have to be a messenger of goodness and of peace. There's no such thing as collective salvation. You can only help others when you have saved yourself. Find the path to your salvation. 40 days and 40 nights. Then we'll see you on 8/28 in Washington. We have had this phone for 1 year, and it just rang during the break. I am on the phone now with Tim Griffin, and we're trying to figure out, can we get it up? We're trying to get it on. Tim, I don't know if we can put you on the air right now, but you're a listener from Blanco, Texas, and you called because, can I show it again, Tiffany? Because we're going to have to change the number, right? Going to have to change the number. I held the phone up like this at one point, and if you look at the bottom, I don't know if you can see it, at the bottom of the phone, it says the phone number. And so we were in the break, and the phone rang, and he said, I pick it up, hello? And Tim said, Is this Mr. Beck? Said, yes. King Obama, is that you? And it was Tim. Tim, you hang on to just a second. I want to thank you for saving us on this, and I'm going to send you something, all right? All right, good. We have an incredible show for you tomorrow, and there will be a new number soon, White House. Don't call this one.